Good morning guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing so good. If you are new here, my name is Celeste. It's more of like a story time on what happened. I got my car, so I'll insert a picture here, and that is my vehicle. I still have her. She is still a black beauty. But there was a little bit of story and I have some footage as well of everything that kind of went on over that period. To understand the story, you have to understand me a little bit better. I'm an extremely independent person. I need my vehicle, I need my job, I need to have those things to feel like that I am in control of my life. That's a good way of putting it. Once I got here, I was here for 2 weeks, and then we saw a car on what they call Gumtree here, which is like our Trade Me in New Zealand, where people can post things, buy and sell. And we found one that we thought looked good, so we went and viewed it, I believe, on the 10th. We have a car! We have a car! We've got a car! Yay! We'll pick her up tomorrow. I'm so excited. I actually can't wait. Yay! And then on the 11th, which was the Monday, I got the car in my possession. Yay! We have a car! I have her, we're in it here. I'm so excited. I am so glad I have a vehicle to get me from A to B. Say hello to my little friends too. They thought they'd pop out and say hello. So, thanks. But anyway, we have a car. I need to go register her. And then I am a free woman. I can come and go as I please, and I am so ready for it. Yesterday was a pretty good day. Like, I got my car and everything was fine. I went and got everything done at the transport agency. I got me a Queensland license. It is very expensive here. I do want to say as well that Australia works very differently than New Zealand. So in New Zealand, every 6 months to a year, we have to get a warrant of fitness done. Here in Australia, you don't have to. Well, in Queensland, you don't anyway, and I'm not sure about the rest of the country. I won't comment on that. But in Queensland, you don't. It's when you sell the vehicle, you need to get a roadworthy done. That's what it's called. Roadworthy is extremely basic. Like, there's a very low bar set for what they class as roadworthy. It's terrible, to be honest. Like, I don't understand how their mind thinks on it. And that is kind of like our version of a warrant of fitness, I think. Like, their registrations here are so expensive. I got a 2002 4-cylinder vehicle and it cost $470 to register it for 6 months. It is so expensive and no one tells you that. There's also this thing called a stamp duty here that you have to pay. You have to get the registration does third-party insurance. It only covers injury to person. It doesn't actually cover anything to do with damages to the vehicle or another person's vehicle. So you have to get another insurance for that, and you need to get roadside assistance. You need to get that because if your car breaks down on the motorway, you're screwed. This is what it is. I need a vehicle. I need to get to A to B. That's all I want it for. I had driven it to the transport place, the supermarket, home, and then to her swimming. And then we were driving home and we'd just come off the highway and we were coming into our area, probably like a minute away from home. And then all of a sudden the light starts blinking. This light on the thing starts like beeping at us. And then I was like, what is that? And he was like, the water, there's no water in it. And I have no idea. I know nothing about cars. I don't know. And then we were stuck at a red light. So we had to wait what felt like forever for this light to go green. So I quickly turned and then he just said to pull over and I turned the car off and everything, and then we started seeing it smoke and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? Like, it's been 6 hours since I've had this car and now it's starting to do crazy shit. Like, what the fuck? I was very upset. He put some water in the radiator and that's brought the temperatures back to normal. But I'm just hoping that's like the only thing that's wrong with it, and I just have this feeling that it's not and that it's gonna have issues, and I was just a little bit upset yesterday, as you could understand. Nothing since moving here has been smooth, and I mean nothing. And it is frustrating, but I'm still holding on to that everything will work out. because it will, and it could be so much worse, and I know that. The car still goes. It's not like it completely shed out. Like, I'm just learning. I'm learning, that's the way to put it. I'm just excited for everything to get into a routine, for this kind of icky period to be over. Today is a new day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm just going to do things that I want to do today. I am not going to worry about anything until tomorrow, because today is a chill, happy, relaxing day. I am just going to cruise on through my day. I just need a break, and everyone deserves to just have a break. Good morning. As you can see from that last clip, when I was in bed and I was saying Monday was a rough day, my car had already started to have issues. Well, it didn't get any better yesterday, which was Tuesday the 12th. It actually got so much worse, but it's okay. Everything happens for a reason, and this is a lesson. And long story short, I had to pick up my cousin like before school really even started. A 20-minute drive, and then about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes away was the mall, and we needed to stop and just get a few things. Anyway, we stopped for about an hour in the underground parking, and I came out. We drove 3 minutes up the road, and my car started to overheat again. Yay! Not yay, we were just entering the highway, so I'm really grateful that I didn't end up on the highway in that situation. It could have been a lot worse. So my uncle came and helped us. Lots of crying. I'll probably insert some clips of what the situation was. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe I'm literally on the side of the road. We spent that whole day driving around trying to figure out what to do. We had to put more water in it to get it to the mechanic so that they could have a look, and then he refused to touch it, so we had to actually go to the transport department. We've got the transport department looking into it, investigating the roadworthy. It is my fault at the end of the day. I took the roadworthy as what I would assume in New Zealand is a warrant of fitness. Their standards here are extremely low, and that was my fault for not doing more research, and it is what it is, and like I said, lesson learned. So they are investigating it now, and if the roadworthy was illegitimate, then they will be having to contact the person who gave out the roadworthy and do an investigation with him. I have all the information here in front of me. It was definitely a process. The transport department had come and had a look at it. We ended up having this defect notice done, which looks a little like this. This defect notice is pretty much the basis of what was not done to meet roadworthy standards. So the guy that this person, Travis, had got to get the roadworthy done was a friend. Now in New Zealand, we all know someone, well, especially within the community that I was brought up in, that like I knew a mechanic, and we knew a builder, and we knew people within the community that we could go to, so we would take it to their services. And so in my head, I was like, awesome, he's got a friend, like this is going to be easy breezy, he'll get the roadworthy done, because it hadn't been done yet, and well, hadn't been done yet. As you can see why very shortly, that is all bullshit. I saw the car on the 10th of November, and on the 11th of November they told me that they were going to go in and get the roadworthy done then, that they would speak to them about the window, and I was like, perfect, no worries. So turns out that actually on the form it says the 9th, which I had never even known the car existed on the 9th when they got the roadworthy done. So their friend just ticked everything off, didn't even inspect the vehicle in my opinion, because there were so many things wrong with it. I mean, 5 things were wrong with it. Turns out I had 5 issues that weren't even the overheating issues, which is... So on the driver's side, the front tyre's tread was too worn, so I needed to completely replace that with a new tyre. The inner CV boots were both split and worn, therefore showing that this was a old split, that it wasn't something that was new. Like I said, at that point I'd had the car for less than 24 hours by the time it was in the mechanic. You just have to laugh about it, and I was laughing about it too. I was like, this would totally happen to me. The window screen washer, when we got it, it was pretty much like the window wiper bit had a screw and it had been taped around, so the actual window wiper would go up and down, but it wouldn't give me any water. So I asked him, and I have text message proof, which I will insert hair that he had a look on eBay, but then it passed without it, so he didn't think it was necessary. And that was kind of the end of that conversation. I asked him in text message as well if he could please show me how to work it, and he was pretty much trying to get out as soon as possible, and I was just excited to get my car, so I didn't ask those questions. The other thing is that the driver's side low beam was out, so we had to replace the light in that, and the engine oil was leaking. So anyway, so those are the issues, plus I had the overheating thing. So to get the car moving, to see if that it was even worth it, because the mechanic couldn't tell whether it was a gas head kit, what are they called? I can't remember what it's called, the gas thing, gas head, I don't know what it is. Anyway, he didn't know if it was the head gasket? Oh, something like that anyway. He didn't know if that was broken, and if it was, then it was going to cost $2,000 to $3,000 to fix it, so therefore it wouldn't have been worth doing. So he wanted to replace the piping that had burst, and that was the reason why all the water was coming out, because that was, glad we were at the mechanics when that happened properly. So it had been leaking up until that point, and then it burst when we got there, so he had to replace that. And because my vehicle is a Volkswagen, so it wasn't like a generic pipe, so he had to purchase the whole thing. Right, so here, which was on the 13th of the 11th, so this is now 2 days after I got it. He worked on it. He checked the coolant leak. He needed to supply and fit the heater hose assembly, and then he refilled it with water. It seemed okay on the road test, and that he replaced the headlight at that point. We now need to fix the rest, and on the 20th of the 11th we booked it back in again, and he had to refit the steering wheel and replace the wiper control. I had purchased at the Wreckers a new window washer things for him to install. Degreased under the engine in the start, run and check. The oil leak was found, oil filter leaking and secured and re-cleaned. Road test and recheck okay. It's for me to have everything else done on it, which was the CV boots, the tyres, the consumables and the environmental levy plus labour. So at this point now I have spent $368 on the first visit and $476 on the next one, and I will do the math here. And that was the last time that we went to the mechanics, plus on top of the $2,000 vehicle and the $470 rego. So this car, I will add up and put on the screen how much this car has actually costed me so far. It costs a lot more, and I highly recommend that if you are to be purchasing a vehicle, to make sure that it has a warrant, a rego, and that you actually get it inspected personally by your own mechanic. I would rather have spent that $80 if I knew I should have done that first, than spending over $800 on getting repairs done. So $80 to $800, definitely would have preferred the $80. So I did actually make a statement, a witness statement for the person who did the roadworthy, because like I don't want this person to be able to do this again. They actually get a fine, and there's going to be an investigation done. I trust that the people that I spoke with were fantastic. They do their job diligently, and I respect them for all of their help that they have done for me. After everything, I got my car back. Was it expensive? Yes. Would I do it again? No. I am very grateful though to have a vehicle that is currently working. I just wanted to share my story so that hopefully other people don't do what I did, and learn from my mistakes. I think we need to see the light in everything, and that everything happens for a reason. We control how we react to our circumstances. Not everything is going to go the way that we wanted it to go, and we just need to learn how to adapt and to kind of see more our silver lining in it. What is the pro out of that? What have we learnt from that? What is the blessing within that circumstance? And I have definitely learnt my lesson. And it's okay. At this point as well, when everything was going on, I didn't feel like I could have any emotion, because these fires within Australia were so big and my problem seemed so small. But that kind of gave me perspective, and I appreciated that, because it was so much, because people were losing their homes. Like, I had a roof over my head, I had food in my stomach, I had clothes on my body, I had people around me who cared about me, who were helping me and supporting me, and I'm so grateful for my uncle in that period, because he was an absolute lifesaver. Just very, very grateful. It could be so much worse than it is, and I have a vehicle now to get me from A to B, so I am grateful for that. It was an expensive lesson to learn. But thank you guys so much for listening to my story. Like I say always, don't forget to stay hydrated. Don't forget to be kind to yourself, others, and our planet. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Bye guys.